Welcome back to the channel, everyone. That's not me. What's going on? What happened? This is exactly what we want here. There we go. I don't know what StreamYard is doing, guys. I pay all that money for StreamYard and it won't even let me run my shit the right way. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Davey Deathray here. How y'all doing? It's Friday night. I hope you guys are ready to party. Hopefully everybody had a great week. It's been a very exciting last few weeks here at the channel. We've seen an awesome amount of growth. You guys are amazing for tuning into the live streams, checking out the pre-recorded videos, all of that good kind of stuff. Thank you so very much. Big shout out to our Patreon members and our YouTube channel members as well. And of course, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. Here tonight, folks, we're back with another versus battle. Now we're going to be joined by my guy, Mark from Tales from the Shelf. He is our versus battle co-host here on the Davey Deathray channel. And we've got the illustrious Mr. Cody Leach joining us for a little Chucky sequel action. I know a lot of you guys in the chat are super pumped. We're not going to waste very much time at all, but I just wanted to come out and you know, screw up the whole everything with the StreamYard and all that and make sure everything was, you know, get all the bugs out before we really get going. But I'm going to say what's up to everybody here in the chat. The really cool thing about these versus battles, before we get into it all, is, you know, we're going to say our piece about each one of these movies as we go through the categories. We're going to award one of the movies a winner of each category as we go along, but we're going to let you guys also have your say with a live poll for each and every category. So you are going to directly influence who is the winner here and who is crowned the king of the Chucky sequels. So I'm really pumped. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Are you pumped? Are you excited? And another really quick thing before we get going. I started a little super chat goal. If you guys want a bonus stream this weekend, just 10 super chats, $2 or more, not a requirement, not something that we ask of you. All that I really ask is that you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because guys, we are very, very quickly marching towards 700 or 1,700 subs here on the channel. And as promised, if we reach 2,000 subs before Halloween, it has to happen before Halloween. I don't know why I said this, but I will dress as the Alpha from 28 Years Later and do a Halloween stream. So there you go. That's the bed that I'm gonna have to lie in if you guys make good on that. So anyways, kind of worried. We got Lamontre Gillard in the chat. What's happening, Lamontre? How you doing? King Matthew the Third is hanging out. We got Erica, one of our Death Squad mods, just became a YouTube member. Must have just had the tiniest bit of lapse, or maybe you jumped up in tier. I'm not sure, Erica, but thank you so much. We got James Leclerc in the chat as well. Ashton Luck, what's happening? Antonis Andriotis, one of our great channel members and a big Child's Play fan. We got Amanda in the chat. How are you doing, Amanda? So good to see you here. Who else do we got? Blazin' Asian. What's happening, Blazin'? We got Dean Renner, one of our great Patreon members, channel members, and Death Squad mods. We got Leanna Bevy Rage, another channel member and Death Squad mod, as well as Brooke Scarlett. Reminding everyone to stab that like button. Thank you so much, Brooke. Gory Tigers in the chat. What's happening, Gory? Paula Fitzhenry, how you doing, Paula? Always a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. And who else do we have? Jamie Hart, the original Death Squad mod, our mama mod here on the Davey Deathray channel. Hope you are doing well, Jamie. And who else do we have? We got Jasonito 23. It's 8:30 where I am. There you go. Yeah, it's about 7:41. I usually say that August 22nd, everybody. Just past 10:30 Eastern, if you're out there on the East Coast. We got Jeff from John Doe Juggalo in the chat. What's happening, Jeff? Dynamite Tiger. Tyler, internet is hanging out. We've got Daz. What's happening, Daz? So awesome to have you here. Ty Lee is kicking it with us as well. Brad Hawk Talk is kicking it in the chat also. There we go. We got my brother from another mother, Matt Facci. Davey, my muffin man, what's happening? Oh my gosh, Matt, don't make me blush. I'm already nervous enough, okay? I already had the issue with all the whole StreamYard business. We got Big Pop-Up Musk, one of our great channel members, kicking it with us as well. And there's Mark from Tales from the Shelf, also a channel member. Thank you so much, Mark. Really, really appreciate that. Although I think that one was gifted. I'm pretty sure that one was gifted. And we got Sarah Prestwood kicking it with us as well. Says Child's Play 2 is way better. All right, well, you're going to have your voice be heard there in the polls, Sarah, as we go on. And we got That Horror Couple. Hell yeah. How are you guys doing? It's been a while. Another great couple of channel members there as well. All right, guys, we are all caught up with the chat. Yeah, if you're kicking it with us here, make sure to hit that like button. Let us know your thoughts on these two movies within the Child's Play franchise. And if you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. It really does help the stream have that second life. And let us know in the comments what you think about Child's Play 2, Bride of Chucky. You can break down the categories if you want to, all that good stuff. We also have Alan Cox, 1031. First time here, happy to be here. Welcome on in, Alan. Everybody in the, the whole death squad in the chat, make Alan feel welcome. And hopefully we'll see a whole bunch of other new people come on in as well. There we go. The chat is just flying now. You guys are awesome. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and get this rolling. Usually I talk for like 15 minutes before like getting to anything substantial, but we're not going to do that because we've got two awesome guests tonight. Let's go ahead and get these guys rolling. Guys, we've got our guy Mark from Tales from the Shelf, and of course, the Cody Leach. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Nothing much, man. Just waiting for you. No, I'm just joking. I was wondering, why are you trying to take over the stream here, Mark? Is that what StreamYard is having you do? Did they ask you a question? Or are they like, do you want to take over the stream? Is that what happened?
I'm just glad I wasn't like picking my nose or something, man.
Me too.
That could have been really awesome.
I should have been picking my nose there. Yeah, Cody, how are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man. It's been busy as hell, as always.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit offline before we jumped in here. You've got, you're working on a cooking channel. And you're running into a little bit of nature problems. What's going on with the cooking channel, my guy?
Just rain every single day here in my area, Georgia. I don't know what is going on. We never get this amount of rain. Usually we're like almost borderline in a drought in the summertime until we get to hurricane season. And it like from the last week or so of June until now, it's rained at least 5 out of the 7 days a week over and over and over again. As soon as my yard drains, it just dumps and it floods again.
Damn, that's sounds like a pain in the ass. So you've got the cooking channel. Whenever the weather clears up, you're going to be getting that going. Is there anything else? Because I found that a lot of times I end up asking at the end of a stream, and I'm like, I want everybody to know what you guys have coming up here on your channels. Of course we can ask again later, but for everyone that's here now, do you have anything else that you're cooking up other than the cooking channel?
Getting ready to go to Fantastic Fest here in less than a month. That's the big thing coming up. Beyond that, we've got finally they're releasing the Toxic Avenger that I saw 2 years ago. So I have a plan to make plans to possibly watch all of the others and maybe do a ranking whenever that comes out because I've already reviewed it. So that might be something fun. And then I think The Conjuring comes out in like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. So I'll probably be re-ranking that franchise again. Other than that, not a whole lot. We're kind of in that weird lull now where summer movie season's over and spooky season hasn't quite started. So I went to the movies yesterday to watch one of the new releases that were out, and I was like, that was a mistake. I should have just stayed home and relaxed.
Which one was it? Was it Witchboard?
Trust. No, I saw Witchboard a couple weeks ago. That wasn't very good either. But no, Trust. It was a movie with Sophie...
Turner?
Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. I didn't know anything about it, just walked in, but the trailer sells you as if it's like the setup of the movie is she's this superstar popular actress. Her iCloud gets leaked, so they find like this private picture of a positive pregnancy test, and they reveal within like the first 8 minutes of the movie that it's her older co-star who's the father. And so he basically like hires a hitman to go take care of her so she doesn't fuck his career up. That's the setup of the movie, and then the rest of the movie is just her being stuck in a closet for some totally different situation. Has nothing to do with the setup of the movie.
Oh my God.
So the trailer is all the setup, and they make you think it's going to be this weird cat and mouse game. It's literally just her stuck in like a utility room for 90 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I was watching your review for that. It had me laughing.
Oh, yeah. I get really hung up on logic, but when it's a bad movie and they do that, it's open season.
Yeah. Now, what is the
Yeah.
what is
Sorry.
the horror movie that hasn't come out yet in 2025 that you're looking forward to the most?
Black Phone 2, which luckily is
Yeah.
going to be the big premiere, or one of the big premieres at Fantastic Fest. So I'll get to see it a little bit early. I don't know if any of the cast is going to be there. For sure, Scott Derrickson and the writer C. Robert Cargill will be there because they're there every single year. But if Ethan Hawke is there, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you're a big Freddy guy, and this looks to have some sort of spiritual, connection,
Very
so
much.
to speak, with that. So yeah, that's really looking forward to that. I'm kind of hoping we even get maybe a Scream teaser is released right around that time. Would be kind of fun for Scream 7. Might be a good idea for them to drop that. Mark, what do you got coming up on your channel, bud? And how are you doing? Talk to the people. Let them know what's going on.
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Excited to talk some Child's Play with you too. Things have been quiet on my channel. My real job is ass kicking for 3 months out of the year, and I don't have a ton of time. But things are ramping up. I'm putting the finishing touches on another video essay that I got coming out soon on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully within the next 4 to 5 days, I would say that'd probably be done. So, and aside from that, I'm anxiously awaiting the release of Silent Hill F. Very much looking forward to that. Probably going to try to stream that. I might try to just document my whole playthrough. And then we got like Resident Evil Requiem a couple months after that. Yeah, dude, we're eating good right now. Are you a Silent Hill guy, Cody?
Not nearly as much as I am Resident Evil, but Silent Hill, the original, is actually the first survival horror game I ever played. That game scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. So I have a big place in my heart for that. I was very pissed that they remade the second one first because I was like, what the fuck, man? I haven't been able to play the first one in like 2 decades.
Yeah, and now they're going back and remaking that one, which is weird.
Yeah,
they're doing them in a. It's weird. Anyway, continue.
They're going in like descending order of popularity, I guess. But yeah, I love Silent Hill 1. I like Silent Hill 2, but I didn't play it in its heyday. I played it for the first time in 2020 when there was like nothing to do, and I just played it on PlayStation Now or whatever the fuck they called it. I really enjoyed the remake, but yeah, Resident Evil is like in my blood. I love those games, so I can't wait for Requiem. We got Metal Gear Solid right around the corner. I can't wait for that. Getting ready to play Gears of War on a PlayStation is going to be fucking weird, but I look forward to doing that too. that's
that
like
is
a week
weird,
away.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, man, I'm excited for summer to be over. I can have a lot more free time to put into this kind of stuff, which is what I really am passionate about. So expect more video essays and just some video game stuff, hopefully soon. So that's it for me.
Awesome. And what's your most anticipated horror film for the remainder of 2025?
That's a good question. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest Black Phone fan, but the second one looks really good. Like substantially better than the first, in my opinion. I just love like the winter aesthetic. Looks really cool. And I love that they're just going supernatural with it. Like obviously there were supernatural elements in the first one, but I like that they're like just getting weird with it, it seems. So I don't know. What are some other ones that I'm forgetting? Definitely not The Conjuring. I don't know how good that's going to be. That movie's fighting an uphill battle, I think.
I mean, got Shelby Oaks is coming down the pipe. I don't know if this is horror or more thriller, but The Long Walk is coming out very soon. You've got like 2 different Frankenstein movies, or maybe it's Frankenstein and then The Bride, something like that coming out.
Yeah.
There's
Silent Night, Deadly Night remake with Rowan Campbell coming out here.
That coming out in December.
I hope that's good.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
There you go. Yeah, and then there's even that Good Boy movie, which looks pretty interesting to me because I'm a sucker for these like haunted house kind of movies. And like, I know it's just an hour, 12 minutes or whatever, but I'm like, you know what? Supernatural horror with a dog, like I'm cool with it not being the longest movie in the world.
I've seen it for a movie that's told from the perspective of a dog. You wouldn't want it to be 90 minutes long. Like it's a very appropriate runtime for
I like that.
Not in a negative way, a gimmicky kind of movie like that.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm always complaining that movies are like 10 or 15 minutes too long anyways. So like that's my thing is like, why are you wasting all my time? So yeah, I am looking forward to that one as well. Sweet guys. Well, I think we can just sort of dive right in with the battle here. And the way that we like to start this is just to give you guys an opportunity to go over your, overall thoughts with each film. So, Cody, seeing as how you're our guest tonight, do you want to give us just your general thoughts on these two films?
These are my two favorite Child's Play films. Depending on what day of the week, what month of the year you ask me, they'll swap places. But yeah, Child's Play 2, I grew up with, always loved that one. I love the first 4 of them, honestly. Like, that's like a perfect, like, quadrilogy, I guess you would call it, for me. I know a lot of people are down on the third one. I love the third one just as much as these two. But the Child's Play 2 is just an absolute classic. It's like the perfect example of a slasher sequel to me, where they just did everything about, like, the first one was great as this kind of mystery that's revealed to be a supernatural doll slasher, and then the second one's just like, okay, Chucky's the star of the show, let's just go balls out with one-liners and kills and Chucky being maniacal. One of the best third acts in the entire franchise in the Toy Factory. Andy is a better character. He's a little bit more matured as an actor with Alex Vincent. Kyle coming in as a great side character. It's kind of a pseudo sister. So I love that movie. There's not really a whole lot negative I could even say about it. Bride of Chucky is one. It was the first one that I saw in theaters, actually, and I've loved it ever since. It was one of those movies that, like, on paper, it's like, this could go really south. And for certain people, they're not a fan of it. They would say it went south, but to me, this was like the perfect mix. This is like the Dream Warriors, where they got the horror and the comedy mix perfect, and then after that, never quite could. But it's very campy, very self-aware, and I think that Jennifer Tilly is an incredible addition to this. I think she actually outshines Chucky in the movie. It's got some great kills. The look and the atmosphere of the movie is really cool. I kind of wish Ronnie Yu would have made more American horror films, because I love this and Freddy vs. Jason a lot. It's got great comedy in it. I think the third one has the best one-liners specifically, but this one, like, the situational comedy and the bickering back and forth, all that stuff's really good. The only real weakness with this film, which we'll get into, is the human characters, but they're completely outshined by Chucky and Tiffany. They're the stars of the show. So yeah, I love both of these.
Hell yeah. And now, Mark, this was your first time watching Bride of Chucky in preparation for this. So I'm curious to know, what are your overall thoughts between these two films?
If you have anything negative to say about it, we're going to need to pause. I want you to watch Speed Up Chucky, and then we'll come back and continue.
So let me explain, because I messaged you guys the other night, and when I had this revelation, so I thought that I had seen both Bride and Seed probably like 15 years ago. So my memories of both were very vague. So then when I started watching Bride 2 nights ago, I began to realize that the memories that I thought I had of both films were actually just of Seed. I guess maybe because I thought Tiffany's in both, so I think that's what was confusing me. But so turns out I had never seen Bride before, because it was right around the time when Living Dead, the Living Dead girl scene starts playing with Jennifer Tilly, and I'm like, I don't remember this, but I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, spoiler alert, I really liked Bride of Chucky. I was very surprised at how much I liked it, because I'm pretty partial to the first 3. I think those are my 3 favorites. I really enjoy just something about 80s, 90s movies have a different feel, and then 2000s movies likewise also have a certain feel that can either be very good or bad, because that era is kind of polarizing as far as how dated it can be perceived. But that being said, yeah, I really enjoyed Bride, like, way more than I thought I would. It's very atmospheric, like, way more than I thought it would be, especially like towards the third act, in the graveyard and everything. So yeah, I think I'm very partial to the first 3, and then obviously 2 being like the best one of the 3. But I like 3 as well. I never understood the disdain that people have for 3.
Same.
Never understood it. Really enjoyed it. I think it's got some really. I know we're not talking about 3, but I just want to say off right here that 3 has probably some of the most effective scenes out of all the franchise. Like, specifically, what's the name of the character who, like, jumps on top of the grenade? That scene is like
Winehurst.
Feels like it's out of a different movie. It's like so impactful. And then as well, like, the whole idea of like swapping the like paintball bullets for actual bullets is like such a thing that Chucky would do. So that was cool. I don't know, I've always enjoyed that one. But anyway, yeah, This is going to be pretty close, I think. Like way more close than I had initially anticipated. So,
Yeah, so this franchise for me is one of these that's like, it's one of the first ones I fell in love with. Like I was probably I think I was like 8 years old the first time I saw the original Child's Play. So it was just, it had been out for a couple years. I saw it in like 1990. And this was like the time where I was finding out that I was a horror kid. You know, I was getting into Michael Myers and then Chucky, of course. I mean, I grew up with Jaws. I loved that movie. It's still my favorite movie of all time. So that's probably where I got a little bit of that horror or a horror adjacent kind of bug. But man, when I got into Child's Play, I was like, I asked for a My Buddy doll for Christmas because I just wanted the closest thing to what you could, you know, the closest approximation to Chucky. And yeah, that first film was just had such a big impact. And man, the sequel is like, you know, it's like you were saying, Cody, it's like Chucky really is the star of the show. It's like you feel really settled with who the character is. You know, it's like you see that in a lot of these horror sequels, I think. Even like, you know, Ash in The Evil Dead, like in the second movie, he starts becoming like the cocky character that we know and love. And we really get that on full display with Child's Play 2. And I mean, gosh, say no more about the finale. It's amazing. Kyle's great. Yeah, it really sticks out as such a strong sequel. And then Bride of Chucky is like, felt like it had been so long, you know, since Child's Play 3. And it was, yeah, so stylized. I think one of the things about Ronnie Yu, you know, regardless about how I feel about his films, like all of these years later, maybe they haven't like aged as well because they are so kind of like what you were saying, Mark, they're so like of their own time. But there is certainly a style to the way he makes his movies. And I think that's something that should be applauded when somebody has a style, similar to somebody like Marcus Nispel doing TCM 03 and then Friday the 13th 09. Those movies feel like you can tell the same person made them. And I dig that about Ronnie Yu, that he's got that style. Having said that, I guess we will get into all the nitty gritty and everything. I remember the first time I watched Bride of Chucky, it was like an absolute celebration. It was such a great time. And feelings have changed throughout the years, but the things that I enjoy about it, I still really enjoy. And then really quick here before we get rolling, just want to throw a shout out here to Jonathan Shreve. Says, howdy, gentlemen. Bride all the way, boys. All right, Jonathan. So you're going to have to let your voice be heard in the polls, which will get going here with our very first item. Thank you so much for the $1.99, Jonathan. Really, really appreciate it. So first up, guys, we're going to talk about the story and setup for each one of these films, and then, you know, end up awarding one of the points or the point here to one of the movies. So Cody, do you want to go ahead and, you know, give your take on the story and setup for both films and which movie you think does the better job here?
Yeah, so as I said, I love both of them. It's kind of like picking your favorite kid at this point. But if I'm going to talk specifically about story and setup, as much as I love it, I think you have to acknowledge that Child's Play 2 very much is a rehash of the first one, just with foster parents, where it, you know, Chucky's back. He's going after Andy again. He gets to Andy a little bit sooner, but now, as opposed to a detective and a mom that doesn't believe him when he says that Chucky did it, now it's a group of foster parents and his foster sister. And so it's bigger, it's grander, it's more fun, but it's basically a templated sequel. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are so harsh on 3 is because 3 started to go down that road and then just kind of changed up the dressing on it a little bit. But Bride of Chucky changed it up for the first time, where it's kind of the same thing, where Chucky still wants to get out of the body, but the main that's just the setup of it. The main story is him and his bride, this, you know, the diabolical girlfriend that matches him and crazy on a road trip. And so just for originality's sake, I think I would give my point to Bride of Chucky, just because it was the first time in the franchise where they really tried to do something different. And I think they did a really good job with it. Where, you know, we have the little, it's not so much of a MacGuffin, but like a reverse MacGuffin where we have to, or actually, I guess it is a MacGuffin where we have to get the amulet, the Heart of Damballa, so that he can get into any body that he wants. And, you know, we're introduced to a brand new character right at the beginning. The first act's about him putting her into the doll, and then they're trying to get to a certain place. And then you have kind of like this mirrored character dynamic where a couple On the Rocks is now being mirrored by a couple that's seemingly doing very well, but they're psychotic, and then that kind of shifts through the third act of the film. So I'll give the slight nod to Bride of Chucky for story and setup.
All right, yeah, fair enough. That totally makes sense. I dig it. Mark, what do you got? Story and setup for each of these films, and which film wins your point for this round?
So I will probably also go Bride of Chucky, and the reason why is a lot of what Cody said, and I like the idea of the character of Tiffany as just kind of like they had like a fling in the past, and then she's kind of like never been able to get over him, and she's like been obsessing about him and like doing all this legwork to try to bring him back to life. I like that as like a plot device of like there was all this stuff that Charles Lee Ray got into before he turned into Chucky, and now like this chick's like coming back into his life, and you know she becomes a big part of the franchise, and she's such a welcome addition that it's hard not to give it to Bride over to, because I was leaning that way already, and then Cody made the good point as well about how it is sort of a rehash, and I think the things that are really great about Child's Play 2 are what kind of come after the setup. The setup is kind of just there to kind of get the ball rolling again. He's even being kind of like, why is he being rebuilt in the beginning? Like that whole montage in the beginning is awesome, but it's like, why are we doing this? Like going through a lot of work just to restore this doll. It doesn't seem worth it. But it's more of a vibes thing. But yeah, I think I have to go with Bride of Chucky as well for those reasons.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you guys. It's undeniable that the Child's Play 2 is, I mean, you could just have a prologue that explains what happened in the first movie. That could have been the first movie, Child's Play 2, if you just explain how you got to this point, because yeah, it is all very, very samey, and they really don't dive any deeper than the original one. You know, I think the only thing that they make different is that he really has spent too much time in the body by the end of the film. You know, that's the only thing that they kind of crank up and sort of change. And while I mean, it's interesting. I mean, while I enjoy Child's Play 2 more, there is something fresh and new about the story and setup of Bride of Chucky. I mean, it's great. It felt like, even though there wasn't that big of a break for it to be a legacy sequel for like that time, and maybe it was just the age I was when the movie came out, it felt like it had been so long, because I was like a little kid when Child's Play 3 came out. And by the time Bride of Chucky came out, I was like at the end of high school. So it was like those formative years had passed. It felt like, oh my gosh, this is sort of like this reboot, a reinvigoration of a franchise, and something that felt like they're already hitting the ground running, and there's no way that they can fuck this up in the next movie. You know, but we're not talking about that one. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give my point to Bride of Chucky as well. All right, here we go. Wow, a clean sweep for round one, and let's check in on what everyone says here in the poll really quick before we get to the poll. We had Erica drop a $5 super chat, just reminding everyone to show us some love. How about that? And oh my gosh, I totally forgot to say, guys, down in the description we've got links for both of Cody and Mark's channels, so you guys can support them. If you haven't already, what are you doing? Get on down there and follow them. Thank you so much, Erica, really appreciate you. And yeah, let's go ahead and see who is winning. Oh my gosh, you guys got to be kidding me. 30 votes and it's 50-50. All right, 31. I'm ending it right there.
What was the tiebreaker?
What's that?
Who was the tiebreaker?
I don't know. Tell me if you're the 31st vote. I guess I should have done it.
What was the winner, I should say? Sorry.
I should have done a countdown. It's Bride of Chucky. So it was
oh, damn.
Yeah. So 16 of the 31 votes went to Bride of Chucky. So there we are. Wow, 4-0. And sometimes, guys, that's how these go. We get these clean sweep categories, and then it goes back and forth. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. Okay, so moving on to our second category, the supporting cast, and we could talk about the comedic relief. Now, different kinds of comedy are used in each one of these movies, so we can sort of, you know, that I'm sure that'll play a part into it. But Cody, what do you think about the supporting cast and comedic relief of each of these films, and which film gets your point?
Ooh, see, this is tough because I would say if we were just talking supporting cast, I would easily give my point to Child's Play 2, but I do think the comedic relief is better in Bride of Chucky. So Child's Play 2, I really like the foster parents. I think they're like just the right amount of kind of off-putting at the same time. You kind of believe and understand why they're the way that they are. Like, you kind of get the vibe that the mom is just too generous. She's like trying to save all these kids, and the dad kind of just goes along with it a lot. And he's like, this little kid's fucked up. We're not equipped for this shit. And so as soon as stuff goes wrong, like, he comes across as a dick when you watch it when you're younger, and as an adult, you're kind of like, he's got a point. So I like them. Of course, Kyle. Everybody loves Kyle. You know, that's probably most people's favorite side character. Alex Vincent, well, he's not supporting character, but he's great. Even like the cannon fodder characters, if you got Miss Kettlewell in here with the yardstick, and you know, that whole scene with the school, and even the foster, the people at the actual foster home are pretty good characters for the little bit that they're there. Bride of Chucky, I mean, I would say Jesse and Jade would be the supporting cast, even though they're technically the lead humans. They're supporting Chucky and Tiffany. I would say they're the stars of the movie, and they're fine. I think they're the thing that ages the worst about the movie, because I liked them as a kid, and then like they're good for the setup, and as the movie goes on, you're just kind of like, whatever. You're like, I get it, you're a foil for Chucky and Tiffany, but that's all you're really doing. And then you get their best friend that comes along, and a couple of the cannon fodder characters are pretty funny. Okay, so if we're gonna do this, supporting cast and comedic relief. So who would be the comedic relief in Child's Play 2? Because to me, Chucky is the funny one in that movie. Everybody else is pretty serious.
I feel like it's
true.
Pretty much solely on him and like that guy Mattson, who's kind of like the douchey. I forget what his exact role is, but he's like the guy that Chucky like is holding hostage in the car at one point. When he goes,
the guy that gets the vodka. I don't forget the vodka.
Correct. Yeah. So like he's kind of funny, but he's kind of also just there to get killed. And then Chucky's probably just this. He is the comedic. He's the sole source of comedy for the most part in part 2, I would say.
Yeah, this is tough, man. This is tough to put in the same category because it's like a split point for me. I think the comedy is much. Go ahead.
Here, let's do this. Let's just make this one, since Chucky is pretty much driving most of the comedy here. I mean, Tiffany, of course, and Bride of Chucky. Let's just make it all about the supporting cast.
Okay.
For our point.
Child's Play 2, then I'll give the point to that,
because we will get into the portrayal of Chucky and all that. So we're going to talk about the comedy in that category. Mix it back in then. So cool. There we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Child's Play 2. Mark, what do you got for supporting cast with these two movies?
This one is tough still, even having refined it to just supporting cast. I feel like Bride of Chucky has a more diverse cast of really weird, like very 2000s characters. There's that guy Damien in the beginning who's just like so over the top, like weird, like Chris Angel kind of vibes to him. Yes. Then you got like John Ritter, who's just, he's always fun. I enjoy seeing him. He's pretty over the top. There's the weird couple at like the hotel that they stop at. And I would consider Jesse and Jade supporting. I think it's a weird delineation there. And Katherine Heigl to me is such a flat line. Like, all respect to her, but like you could have replaced her with literally any other actress, I feel like, and it would probably be better for it. That sounds harsh, but like, I don't know, she's just very forgettable. And then Jesse too is like, I mean, I don't know that I've seen that actor in anything else ever since then. But even with those two knocks against it, I still think I might have to go Bride here for supporting cast, because Child's Play 2, I mean, you've got like Mrs. Kettlewell, you've got that guy Mattson, like I was saying. They're great. They both have pretty cool scenes. But yeah, the foster parents aren't doing too much for me as far as entertainment value goes. So I'd probably go Bride for supporting cast here.
Okay.
All right. I gotta go Child's Play 2 on this one, just because every time I watch Bride of Chucky, even though we do have kind of colorful characters in there, I'm just sort of like, I don't care. I'm just sort of like, give me the goods, give me what I want, give me Chucky and Tiffany. Like you're saying, Katherine Heigl is just like, there's just not much there. And I just think both of those characters, I'm just like I'm like, gosh, you could have replaced them with almost anyone else in this movie, and I would have rather, follow these characters instead. And even though there aren't as many in Child's Play 2, the foster parents, like, I get it. There's a little bit of blandness going on there, but it is a different dynamic than what we got in the first film, just with him being with his mom. Kyle is amazing. Like, I love all the interaction. It's so natural. The chemistry between her and Andy is great. Andy, smoking a cigarette in the basement doing laundry or whatever. It's a awesome moment that you would just probably never see in a movie nowadays with a child actor or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you've got Miss Sparkle Motion from Donnie Darko there. So I just, when I think about these two movies and I think about the cast of characters, what sticks out in my mind are the characters from Child's Play 2. So I'm going to go ahead and give my point there to Child's Play 2. So we've got, let's see here. So far, we've got 5 for Bride of Chucky, 2 for Child's Play 2, and let me take a look at the poll. Holy cow. 36 votes, 67%. Oh, 36. Well, here, I'm going to close it because it's so lopsided here. Bride of Chucky wins again with the folks in the chat.
Nice.
So we are... I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's so lopsided so far. So yeah, 37 votes, 65-35 is how that's split in favor of Bride of Chucky. So wait, I've got my... So wait, 5... Wait, we do 4 for each, right? So there should be 8 points. Why do I always like suck at math at the worst possible points here? So Cody, you and I went for Child's Play 2 there, and then all the other points have gone to Bride of Chucky. So it's 6-2, Bride of Chucky. Holy cow. Holy cow, people.
Me in the chat against the world over here.
It's really heating up over here. And then we got another 199er from Amanda there. Says Tiff and Chucky's banter is gold in Bride of Chucky. Yes.
It is.
That dynamic is so interesting. I might go back and watch Seed just to get some more of that, even though I don't expect... Well, listen, like I said, it's been probably 15 years since I've seen... Because I know I've seen that one. Because I could never forget that fucking... that other doll. What's their name again? I can't remember.
Glenda.
Yeah. I could never forget that. So I don't know. I really enjoyed their banter, like they point out in the super chat. They're funny as hell, dude. He's like, when she thinks that he was gonna ask her to marry her, and he was like, "Are you fucking nuts?" And he just starts cracking up. Like the idea of that is so funny to him. It made me laugh. It was so great. I don't know.
The dumb part that always makes me laugh in that movie is where after that whole thing happens, when Jennifer Tilly's out front kind of flirting with Jesse, and then you just hear Chucky from the background, "Tiffany, where the fuck are you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm babysitting."
Yeah, that was funny too, because you never actually see who it was. It was such a little throwaway thing, but it was so funny.
Mm-hmm. It's so tough to find somebody that can really match with Brad Dourif's dynamic performance. To find somebody to bring in Jennifer Tilly and have her feel like she's been there the whole time. It really is like, their chemistry is a total triumph for this movie for sure. All right, thank you so much, Amanda. Really appreciate the 199er there. Okay, guys, here we go. Our third category is direction and atmosphere. So, Cody, take her away.
This is another really tough one. I think that Child's Play 2 has this really kind of very subtle haunted house vibe about it. Like the Foster house has this very whimsical, like pastel look to it. So it's not like overtly haunted house, but the way that it's shot, there's a scene where the first night that he's staying there, where it kind of like zooms and pans across the staircase, and all of a sudden you see Chucky just standing at the bottom of the staircase, listening to whatever's happening upstairs. The whole where he's burying the Tommy doll, and it's got the wind and everything behind him. Like, they capture some really good atmosphere in that movie, and then of course the third act in the toy factory is incredible. Directing of actors is really well done in that one. And then you go over to Bride, and to me, it's just as well done, but there's a lot more of there's a lot more care needed in the direction there to make sure that the comedy is just right, where you're getting just the right line, just the right read out of the actors, where you're setting up the jokes well, and you're always nailing them with the tension and all of the horror as well, which they totally lost after this one, where there's still some genuinely dark stuff and dark demented things happening. The kills still pack a punch. It doesn't feel like it's descended into complete just parody. So I think with that said, I'm going to give the nod to Bride of Chucky, because I think the job is harder. I think Child's Play 2 is flawlessly done, but Bride of Chucky is a more difficult movie to nail, and I think that Ronnie Yu did a great job at nailing it. So I would rather not have his job.
Comedy can be, yeah, it is tougher. If you get comedy wrong, you get Seed of Chucky. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. Mark, what do you got for direction and atmosphere here?
So like this one is definitely tough. I feel like most of these are probably going to be pretty tough. When it comes to Child's Play 2, I feel like it was definitely not as daunting of a task to kind of just build off of what came before with the first film, and just kind of raise the bar ever so slightly, with the finale in particular is like head and shoulders above the finale in the first film, just in the apartment or whatever. But I think with this Bride being a 2000s film, they always kind of have the deck stacked against them as far as like making something that doesn't feel just overtly 2000s. And this does that, but then it also has like that whole finale in particular really stands out to me as being very atmospheric and downright like classic, like almost like Universal Monsters kind of feel to it, with the grave, and you know the weather and everything was really effective. So I think it's more impressive for sure. I know that's not what's being asked here, but well, actually I guess it is in a sense.
Yeah,
it's more impressive, I think, that Bride was able to build the atmosphere that it did versus, you know, Child's Play 2. This was what, 89, right? So I think horror movies that came out in the 80s have a sort of built-in likability factor just by the fact that you can always tell when a film is from the 80s. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but like,
it does.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of has that quality to it that'll always kind of give it a leg up over things that come out later on. So, and everyone has their preference, right? Maybe you prefer a 2000s vibe. All that to say, geez, I probably will go Child's Play 2, just because that is what I gravitate towards more. If I was to pick one of these, I enjoy the 80s style better. But you got to give your flowers to Bride there. I think it's important to mention that, because it was better than like I said earlier, it was better than I expected it to be, just all around.
Yeah, and I think, there's definitely something to be said for those comedic moments and the timing and finding that right rhythm and everything. And yeah, I think Bride of Chucky certainly does have its, Ronnie Yu's got a style that's just, you watch this, you watch Freddy versus Jason, you can tell that there's a consistency there with his work. And I really do appreciate that. I just think that his style doesn't fit my taste as much as something like Child's Play 2. I am a little bit more into that, the eerie vibe that we've got in the 80s and everything like that. I also think that while the comedy is tougher to pull off than, more straight horror, although there are funny moments in Child's Play 2. I also think that, the technology with like the puppetry and everything like that made certain parts of Bride probably a little bit easier. So, directing, more with the, I don't know the less technologically advanced puppetry of the late 80s in Child's Play 2, I think also brings a certain amount of charm there. I'm sure there's a little bit of nostalgia bias here as well, because I was a little kid when I first saw this movie, so I'm well aware of that. And then also just the atmosphere and everything in general throughout the entire film, and especially we'll get into the finale later, but in that instance as well, I've got to give the nod to Child's Play 2 here. So
Yeah, that's a good point there, Davey. I didn't even mention that. It's just like how you have to figure it was definitely easier. They had dialed in the technology by the time Bride came out. For part two, I mean, Chucky looks so good. Like, I rewatched both these movies back to back, and Chucky just looks amazing. I would argue that he looks better in two than he does in Bride. Mostly because I don't like that like beat up look that they gave him in Bride. It makes sense that he looks like that, but
yeah, that's kind of and that's sort of like
yeah,
a taste
just the
thing too, for
technology in
sure.
general.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we'll I think
yeah,
we're getting
definitely
into
worth
the
mentioning that as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And guys, the poll here, let's see, it's 55-45 with 33 votes. Here's what I'll do is I'll just wait another few seconds here just to see if any other votes come in. Doesn't look like they have. All right, so we're going to end the poll there. Child's Play 2 edges out Bride of Chucky 55-45. So we're getting a little tighter with the score here. Between the 12 points that we've got Bride of Chucky's got 7, Child's Play 2 has 5. All right, you guys are great. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat for kicking it with us, and I love seeing the conversation and you guys chatting about the film there on the side. And of course, thank you so much for participating in the polls. I love getting you guys involved. It's one of the big things here on the channel. And before we get to the next category, one thing that I forgot is that I put a brand new item in the merch today. I've got a pint glass that's Chucky and Tiffany getting married at like a Vegas like drive-through wedding parlor kind of thing. So if you're a really big fan of Child's Play, check out the shop and see if that's your kind of thing. Okay, number 4, we're gonna slide right back into the end of that conversation there, talking about, you know, not only the puppetry, but the look and the portrayal of Chucky. So we're talking about the Brad Dourif performance between two films, the aesthetics of the way the doll is, and of course the sense of humor and everything. So, Cody, what do you got for the look and portrayal of Chucky?
Every one of these are an absolute bitch.
Just flip a coin.
I'm telling you, man. So Child's Play 2, I think the doll looks incredible. This is really, I mean, not that Brad Dourif wasn't doing an incredible job in the first one, but this is the first movie where he really gets like let loose and he gets to just command the screen from the beginning. That laugh becomes absolutely iconic in the second film, where he's just enjoying it from the very beginning. Just a little strangulation to get the circulation going. You start to get those great one-liners. His back and forth with Andy is great, where he's just not taking any shit this time. You get the iconic moments like with Miss Kettlewell, where, you know, even though she's fucking with Andy, he's like, no, I'm the one who fucks with Andy, bitch. So you got that one. And especially whenever he loses in the third act, whenever he gets to finally go through the whole spell and then his nose drips and then and he just fucking loses it and he's chasing them. And like, I love the moment whenever they lock his hand on the little roller way that they're chasing him. I'm gonna get you fuckers. Like, you believe that he is just out for blood in that movie. And I think as far as the classic Chucky doll look, it looks the best in 2. Now you go over to Bride of Chucky. My personal favorite look of the doll is the scarred, stitched look. I just love how metal it is. You know, I love it makes sense narratively, but it also is just a badass look. And I think that the portrayal for what Bride of Chucky is going for is basically equally as good, where the comedy's turned up much more, but Brad Dourif just nails it. He's still evil, he's still mean, but the prick side of him gets to come out just so much more. Just like the line you were talking about earlier, like, are you fucking nuts? And he just starts laughing. Or even the great moment where you got Alexis Arquette's talking shit with Chucky on top of him, and the head just spins around. That ain't the size, asshole. Like, you get that one. Oh my god, I think overall, if I'm gonna say that Child's Play 2 has the best classic look and it has arguably the best classic Chucky performance, whereas Bride of Chucky has the best look, but I wouldn't say is my number 1 Chucky performance, I'll give the nod to Child's Play 2, but that's a really hard one.
Oh, I know. I can tell it hurts you.
Yeah, it is. It's like Stokey's choice. Just take him.
That's the fun thing about these versus battles is that, you know, usually the idea is that we like both movies. It's just like, yeah, let's like really, you know, trim the, like, you know, we're you know, just trimming the edges off to figure out which one is truly better. So Child's Play 2 for Cody on the look and portrayal of Chucky. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton to add. Cody really covered a lot of it. It's Child's Play 2 for me. I like the classic look. I already got a little bit ahead of myself in the last category and mentioned that I don't really love the beat up bride look. Even though I do think it's the natural progression, and it makes sense for him to look like that. As well as just like the fact that as far as the portrayal of Chucky, like Brad Dourif's progression as this continues to go along, you know, these movies are all the same canon, so like he really starts to, you can tell he gets more comfortable with the role, and you just get the sense that he's more frustrated the longer he has to stay as this doll. Like he just gets more and more agitated and irritable, which is fun. And they let him, they're always giving him great material to work with, so I can just like close my eyes and see him in the studio, like, or the sound booth, just having a blast with it. Like you get the sense that he just really enjoys this, and that's across the board. Even in the worst of these movies, I think you're going to find that with Brad, his performance just being so. I mean, he never mails it in. You know, he gives it his all with all of these. But just as far as the look, I really like, because he's still like, you could still pass for like a kid's doll into, which I think is what I find most effective. Like when Kyle gets pulled over by the cop and they're like, oh, is that a good guy doll? And he's like, yeah, and its nose starts bleeding and stuff. Like if you had the bride doll sitting in the car when she gets pulled over, she's going to jail that night. I mean, there's no way that's flying. He's gonna have a lot of questions. But yeah, all that to say, I think I gotta go Child's Play 2 here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Child's Play 2 as well. I think there's, you know, I do prefer the classic look. I think the stitched up look it's great. And I think the humor is really good from Chucky in Bride of Chucky, but it's also one of those things where it's like, you know, Child's Play 2 is the first time like we really got that. You know, it was like the Child's Play 2 Chucky, you know, walked so the Bride of Chucky could run kind of thing. So it's like I give it the edge almost in that sense as well, as to where, you know, that's kind of where that personality and that attitude really started to shape up to what we could expect from Chucky moving forward. And yeah, I do find a charm with something that is that just has that artistry about it. I think about the facial expressions and everything and the doll from Child's Play 2, and there is something like perfectly uncanny valley about them that really does creep the hell out of me. And even just like the kind of body horror aspect of what he goes through in the finale, I think is a really cool look too. When he puts putting the knife on his wrist, you know, and walking around like some sort of half-assed doll pirate kind of thing. Like there's just something about that where I'm like, that's a nice little switch up on the look that is, that fits the story and also just kind of raises the stakes there, or at least changes them up a little bit in the end. So I really do appreciate that as well. So yeah, I'm going to give my point to Child's Play 2 as well. And let's see what we've got from the chat here, because I think it's pretty damn close for you folks. 28 votes, 57% are saying Bride of Chucky, 43 Child's Play 2. Here's what I'll do is I'll address a couple. We had a member chat come in from Jordan Decker, who's been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much, Jordan. Really appreciate you. Jordan's a great guy. Eli, can you share Jordan's the link for his channel in the chat if you haven't already? Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jordan. And then Jordan drops a 199. I'm giving up a hot pretzel for this super chat. Well, there you go. I appreciate it, Jordan. A hot pretzel or a third of a beer at a bar. Here we go. Okay, so here we are, 29 votes. Boom, there's the end of that poll. We've got Bride of Chucky winning with 59% to 41%. So, guys, we are all tied up right now, 8-8 going into the back half of our competition here, or versus battle. How about that? Okay, guys. I think this one might be the easiest one of the bunch, maybe. Music and score. Now, I think this might be the easiest one. I'm not sure. We'll see. Cody, why don't you give us our thoughts and what you think here?
So I need you to clarify, because a lot of people, sometimes they mean something specific and sometimes they don't. Are we counting like the arranged, like composed music for this, or are we talking about the actual soundtrack with like Rob Zombie and shit like that on there for Bride of Chucky?
So I should have put soundtrack and score. So yeah, score would be the arranged stuff, and then soundtrack is just whatever else you've got going on in there.
Gotcha.
And I get it that these movies are drastically different in this category. This is just a category we always end up putting into these versus battles.
Okay, that makes it easier for me. So Child's Play 2, I do think has a really good score to it. Actually, the score to this kind of becomes artificially the signature Chucky score. Like, Chucky doesn't really have this iconic musical theme the way that Freddy and Michael do, or Jason. But since the series has gone on, Don Mancini has consistently went back to Child's Play 2 and reused that musical theme. It's actually the opening theme to the 3 seasons of the TV show that he had. So in that sense, I do think Child's Play 2 does have a really good score. It's got like this childlike, toy-like quality to it. Go figure. And so I think it very much matches what they're going for in the movie. But I also think Bride of Chucky has a really good score that is very atmospheric, and it has all the extra points of having one of my favorite horror soundtracks of all time. That's one thing that I'll say about Ronnie Yu is in both of his movies, he gets really good soundtracks. I mean, you're listening off, like, you got Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie, you got Willie Nelson in here, you got Call Me from Blondie, you got one of my favorites in here is Bloodstained by Judas Priest. So I'm a big fan of the 2 albums they came out with Tim Ripper Owens whenever Rob Halford had left the band, and most people shit on those albums. So I love the fact that that's like cemented in horror history, that it was there. You got White Wedding. I think Thunder Kiss is in here. So because this has such a badass soundtrack to complement the really cool score, and Child's Play 2 does not, it's an easy point for Bride of Chucky for me.
Yeah, it's like they made a Cody Leach mixtape there with the soundtrack. Yeah,
pretty much.
All right, Mark, what you got?
It's Bride.
Yeah,
it's Bride. I'm sorry, I don't have anything interesting to add there. It's Bride.
Yeah,
it's kind of a layup. I mean, Cody does give CP2 its flowers by sort of having that score that's sort of followed it throughout the franchise. But as far as like, I mean, Bride has that too. And it has the great soundtrack. Like, it's just strictly better. There's no real argument to be made, I think. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Even, it's not, I think the songs they just fit so well. It's about like what fits the piece. Like, not all of these songs are, exactly like right up my alley or anything, but it's like, man, it so fits the mood and the tone of the film and everything. So I always talk about these things wanting to fit the each piece on its own merit, and I think that's like you said, Mark, it's a layup. It's got to be Bride of Chucky here.
When you include this, you just win automatically.
There you go.
No arguing.
Metal right there.
And Cody, you're right. I mean, Freddy versus Jason, it's like you could put those soundtracks out as a double album pretty much. I
actually just pre-ordered their, I don't remember if it's I think it's Mondo that's doing a vinyl of that finally, and I just pre-ordered it like a week ago.
Hell yeah.
That song that plays in the beginning of Freddy versus Jason is I don't know, that I can't remember the name of it, but is awesome. I really like that song. It gets you fired up, honestly.
Yeah.
It gets me
I think
ready
that's
to
another
watch Freddy
That's
versus
another
Jason.
part of Ronnie Yu's style. I think he sort of gets that. He sort of gets being able to match up good, either hiring the right person or maybe he's curating the soundtracks himself. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because the 2 films are so consistent in that way, for sure. I think it's one of the things that kind of ends up at least in my opinion, when I go back and revisit it, you know, in some ways it helps, it makes it memorable. In some ways it really does like stick it in that place in time it's difficult to remove it from. You know, that late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe I'm just ashamed of my late teen years, and that's what it is. Maybe it's repressed, you know, just thinking about the cringe of my, you know, 17 to 20. Anywho, yeah, 4 points all the way over to Bride of Chucky. So now we're 12 points for Bride of Chucky, 8 points for Child's Play 2. And
what was the poll? It was unanimous, I'm assuming.
It was like 73%. Yeah, for Bride of Chucky. It was just, yeah.
Gotcha.
Landslide. It's been a landslide. Okay. Next up, we've got, for our 6th category, final characters. So we're talking, what, Jesse and Jade and Kyle and Andy.
Ooh,
Cody.
This one might be another layup here.
Well, we'll see. Cody, give us what you got.
Child's Play 2, full stop.
Yeah.
There's just no, like, again, like I don't hate the Jesse and Jade characters, but they're just fine. They're serviceable final girl, final guy, whereas Andy is literally like the star of the franchise in a lot of ways behind Chucky, and Kyle is the overwhelming majority of people's favorite side character to go along with Andy, and they're the ones that are like now the legacy characters that you hope to see and barely get to fucking see in the TV show. So yeah, Child's Play 2, it's not even close.
Mark, you are up. Are you
Yeah,
laying it up?
I think the it's Child's Play 2. The dynamic of Kyle and Andy is just leagues and bounds more interesting than what Jesse and Jade have going on.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle just kind of being this other foster kid, and you know, she smokes cigarettes. She doesn't really care about anything. But then Andy comes into her life, and she's like, "Yeah, maybe this kid's all right," you know. And then she's like really ready to put herself on the line for him, and just watching that whole relationship kind of grow it's just way more interesting than anything that Bride is doing as far as Jesse and Jade are concerned. So
yeah, you can. I mean, man, Kyle, how long do you think Kyle and Andy are in that home together? Is it just like a week? Is it even that? Like, it seems like, yeah. And you can make the argument that she is being a better big sister to him than Rachel was to Jamie in Halloween 4. Like, you know, that there's like a really, she does feel she's got this maternal instinct, like as a foster sister. That is something that always stuck with me, and I think with a lot of the fans of the franchise, that's something that just really sticks out about Child's Play 2. They love that dynamic. I think with Jesse and Jade, it's like, do you really need him here? I mean, I get you've got the whole body swapping thing. I feel like Bride of Chucky could have almost just been like a Bonnie and Clyde, like them running away from the cops. Although I guess one of them works the pedals, the other one works the steering wheel. That could have been really funny. But I think that's one of the things when I watch Bride of Chucky is I'm like, man, to have to shoehorn in your two main like human characters, it's kind of a bummer for the film, I think, overall, that they end up doing that, because yeah, these are both just like nothing burger characters. Yeah,
I don't know if it's just like miscast or nothing, they weren't given a ton to work with or what, but conceptually, like Cody mentioned it at the top, like the idea of them sort of kind of swapping as far as like their places with each other's relationships is interesting, but I don't know that they had a ton more else to go off of outside of that.
There's like how much of the pie is left to eat after you have Brad Dourif and then you've got Jennifer Tilly. There's just not much.
Yeah, they're kind of hogging it all.
They got all the good
go around. Yeah.
You know what pisses me off, and you brought it up, and I never thought about this before, is you literally have a point in the movie that sets this up where they need to get to Hackensack, New Jersey. And she's like, "Oh, we'll just go." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure, I'll steer. And you work the pedals. We're fucking dolls, you dope." Very next movie, same exact writer has Chucky driving a car with no assistance and runs Britney Spears off the road.
I think they should have just done the pedals and the, that would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Or do something like
money.
what? Yeah, like what is Short Round in Temple of Doom? Like puts like little alphabet blocks or something on his shoes. Like find some kind of creative, cutesy way of dealing with it.
They could have figured something out.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So 80% for Child's Play 2 in the poll, 20% Bride of Chucky. So we're swinging. The pendulum has gone right back the other way. We've got a tie game here, 12 points apiece. I was getting nervous at the beginning that it was going to just be a landslide the whole way through. But it looks like it's tightening up here for our final two categories, everyone. First up, we've got kills and visual effects. So practical, CG, all that stuff applies. How do we feel about the kills in each one of these movies and the VFX prowess? What are you thinking, Cody?
I don't know. Let's go through them. So like 2, you have the plastic wrap kill, and then you have the How's It Hang and Fill. You got the yardstick kill, which is off screen for the most part. You just see the yardstick kind of going up and down. And then you have a really great kill inside of the toy factory. He kills the foster person, the like the head of the foster house. Then you get the toy factory where the eyeballs go into the worker, and he goes up the conveyor belt. And then I guess you should include Chucky's kill in that too, which is pretty gnarly, where he loses his hand, rips it off, puts the knife in there, loses his legs, and has to walk around in a little cart, and then gets melted and explodes into bloody paste. And then you go into Bride of Chucky, and Bride has some really good ones too. I mean, you have Tiffany slitting throats from the beginning. You got the ring being pulled out, and then the guy being smothered. Tiffany's death in the pool or the bathtub. You got the Pinhead reference kill with John Ritter, which is a great one of my favorites. The guy gets blown up in the car. The guy gets creamed in that really horrible CGI effect when Judas Priest is playing.
Isn't there like a sex mirror kill?
That's right. Yeah,
that kill is pretty badass too.
Yeah, that's the best kill in the movie. I'm sorry, I forgot that one. Yeah, the rain and glass. Oh, this is another tight one. I think because I appreciate the practicality of 2 more than when we get to Bride, we're starting to incorporate a lot more CG. I think I'm going to give the nod to 2 for that, just because I'll always choose practical over CG. But the kills in Bride are nothing to sneeze at. A lot of them are more punchliney in Bride of Chucky 2, where Child's Play 2 is more meaner, I think. So I'll give the nod to that one.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a little bit more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of jokey manner about a lot of the kills in Bride. I mean, the guy getting obliterated by the semi-truck is like one of the funniest moments in the movie. It was just like one of the most gnarly things I've ever, like, I didn't even expect it. So having said that, Mark, what do you got for kills and visual effects between these two films? Which one takes your point?
I think I gotta go Bride, man. I think there's more kills in Bride. I think the kills themselves are just more entertaining. I think if that's the metric that I'm going to look at, Cody makes a good point. One of the best kills in CP2 with Miss Kettlewell is mostly off screen. Like you you get some of that initial shock, and then we kind of pan out further and further at the school. Yeah, I really like the Pinhead kill, and someone in the chat actually points out that the nails don't actually kill him there, because he comes back to life a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But I'll roll that all into his kill there. And then the whole semi-truck thing genuinely surprised me. I did not expect that, and it was very funny, and I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, I think I gotta go Bride here, man.
All right. Well, I'm going to break that tie, and I'm going to roll with Child's Play 2. And I think the thing that is moving me over into that side, yes, it is the practicality of it all. And I know there are kills in Bride that they, are still using practical effects there. But man, the Chucky's kill at the end of the film, I think that tips it over, because that just gets like, the effects throughout, like you had said, Cody, every little bit of that transformation that he goes through, the Chucky that we see throughout that last 20 or 25 minutes, like he's changing, you know, multiple different kind of phases that he goes through. And then, yeah, just the getting covered in the goop and being like melted and the tube shoved up his nose and blowing up. There's just, it is, you know, when Randy from Scream says Carnage Candy, that is exactly what he's talking about. And it's one of those things that just really stands out to me. A triumph of Child's Play 2. So I'm going to give my point there as well. And let's see. You got something to say about that, Mark? No, I'm just
Oh no. Well, I did want to just chime in because you mentioned the I think Child's Play 1, all of them sort of mark this at least the first three have this motif in the third act where Chucky suffers some sort of disfigurement. In particular, I really love in 3 when the scythe comes down and like slices half of his face off. I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
You just can't stop talking about 3. What are you doing? We're not even. I'm just joking.
Well, since we're not talking about 3, I'm figuring I want to take as many chances as I can to spotlight it because the slander is honestly ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I think 3 is super solid. I don't understand the people that really hate on that one. I don't get it. And I do think, yeah, you're right. I love the slicing of the face. I think even, you know, falling into the fan is a good way to, you can't just do the same thing every time. So, you know, I'll give them credit for those first 3 movies. They find a different way to do that every time. I'm going to jump in and check out the poll here. We've got 32 votes. I think that's pretty much the amount of people who are participating in the votes, at least on the last handful. So I'm going to end that one there. And that point from the chat, that was a tight one. 54% Bride of Chucky, 46 Child's Play 2. So the point goes to Bride of Chucky from the chat on that one. So,
nice. So 2 points apiece there?
2 points apiece. And so we're at 14-14.
Damn, dude.
Holy cow. It
We're
is
staying consistent here.
Coming down to the wire. I'm I don't know. There's sometimes where I'm like, is it boring for people that it's back and forth like this, or maybe it's exciting? I don't know, but this is going to be the tilt, guys. This is a big one here. The finale. Which film has the better finale? Now, for me, this one is a layup personally. But I'm curious, especially Cody, since you're such a hardcore fan of Bride of Chucky, I'm curious to see what you got to say about that one. And Mark, since you're a first-time viewer or a recent first-time viewer of Bride of Chucky, I'm curious to see what you say. So, Cody, take her away.
If this was Child's Play 2 versus Child's Play 3, this would be extremely difficult because I think those are two of the best finales in slashers. Child's Play 2 versus Bride of Chucky is a layup, and it's Child's Play 2, and it's not even close. Bride of Chucky's got a good third act. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad ending or whatever. It's fun. It comes to its natural conclusion. You end up having it where it turns into they end up turning on each other, and you get that really great effect where they have 2 actual people fight, and it's just an aerial shot, so it looks like dolls. And but it feels like it's resolved very quickly because as soon as Jesse and Jay come out and they get the gun, you know what I mean? Like, Tiffany's taken down, he gets shot. You get that great line where he's like, "Go ahead and kill me, I'll fucking be back." And so that's great. The baby coming out of Tiffany was a great little stinger for the end. It didn't lead to Seed of Chucky. But Child's Play 2, that entire third act in that toy factory, I mean, it's one of the greatest finales in any horror film to me. So it's like, you know, one of the best versus one that's just suitable.
Mark, what do you got, bud? you it seems like you've been skewing Bride of Chucky here on some of these close ones. I'm curious to know what you think. Maybe there's a recency bias. What do you got?
Yeah, so I really I think this is one of the closer ones for me personally. In particular, man, the way that Bride ends with Tiffany birthing the baby, I didn't expect that. I forgot that happens leading into Seed. Or I guess I didn't realize it because I've never actually seen this finale before. But yeah, I knew Seed was coming. I just didn't know that they teased it this early. So that was fun. It actually kind of reminded me of Immaculate from you know, a couple years back now, where the way that movie ends with Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I mean, but then stacked up against the Toy Factory finale, it does seem a little bit like it's like it's difficult to not go CP2 here. Yeah, let's just go CP2. Got to do it.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you guys. There's something, even we've got some of our folks here in the community. I believe Leanna Bevy Rage is still kicking it in the chat, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods, and she is just she's one of those people. She's like, I don't, Child's Play is just, I don't get it. It's just, and she loves a lot of horror, but it's just one of those franchises that doesn't resonate with her. However, she's one of these horror fans that's like, I love a good chase scene, like Friday the 13th Part 3 is her favorite because of just the Chris and Jason interaction at the end of the film. And I'm like, Leanna, if you like that, like, you've got to at least watch Child's Play 2. You don't need to watch the whole franchise, but Child's Play 2 has one of the most epic finales in that window, in the late window of the slasher craze. And to me, it is like truly an iconic ending. I mean, not just the fact that Chucky in and of himself is an icon, but the stacks of dolls, like the maze, just it's like a nightmare. Like, you feel like when you're in that finale, you really get that nightmarish sense. You can put yourself in Andy's shoes. I think no matter what age you are, or you can go Kyle if you skew a little earlier or older. But yeah, Child's Play 2, the whole chase, there's something so like, I grew up watching all those Nickelodeon shows like Double Dare and like Guts and all that. There's
Legends
something
of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, there's just like this huge obstacle course of like trying to get through all the machinery and everything, and watching them like barely get away and then do damage to Chucky as they go. And it seems like we get like that false ending or two as well. And then the payoff is so grand and amazing that I can't help but to not only give Child's Play 2 the point here, I had to talk a lot about it as well. So there we go. All of us three here are giving our points to Child's Play 2 on this one. So I don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately, what the final... I have the feeling, though, that the audience is going to be with us on this one. And they are. This one is a landslide from the audience. 33 votes, 73% of folks say Child's Play 2. So... It was close. It was, man, that was a comeback for Child's Play 2. It was looking rough right from the beginning. I was like, oh no. I was like, here comes Cody's gonna blow the doors off the place. He loves Bride of Chucky. We're gonna find a way to have this. He's gonna bring all of his people over. By the way, thank you to everyone.
I changed my vote. Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who's joining. We've got a shitload of people in here, and I do appreciate everyone who's come over to give the channel a gander for this battle, because here we are. Child's Play 2 wins the crown of best Chucky sequel, 18-14. It was pretty dang close until the end there. You guys have any final thoughts or anything like that? Anything that you didn't get to say about either one of these movies that you would like to say?
Can't go wrong with either one of them.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm glad that, if nothing else, I got to watch Bride for this stream. I don't know that I would have gone back and watched it without having done this, so I'm glad for that.
You would have gone your whole life thinking you had watched it. You would have been on your
likely,
deathbed, and they'd be like, "Do you have anything you regret?" And he's like, "I never watched Bride of Chucky."
No, it was. I'm glad they're close, and you and I, Davey, these have all been pretty close. As far as I can remember, there have not been any blowouts, and I think that's what makes it the most fun, is when you don't really know who's going to wind up coming out on top. I think perhaps unsurprisingly, though, I do think Child's Play 2 just all around is a better film, but Bride is like right there behind it, man. Like, it is not, it's not that far behind at all. So yeah,
I mean, that's why, that's the great thing about these versus battles. There's a reason why these are the two fan favorites. And so, the whole purpose is, let's make it tough on ourselves, as fans. And yeah, so I mean, that's what we got here. This was super fun. I think the next time, I don't know, Cody, maybe if we're able to get you on for another one of these, maybe we do something, maybe we flip it and find a franchise and do the two, which is the worst movie in the franchise, and do a couple bad movies within a franchise. We could have
versus Freddy's Dead.
you could definitely, yeah, you could do, absolutely, you could do that. Yes, that was
0 points awarded to either one.
Yes. It would be brutal. It would be brutal. Yeah, guys, you know, we talked a little bit before at the beginning of the stream, but we've got some more people here now. If you guys want to, you know, let us know what you've got coming up on your channels here in the relatively near future, or just anything that you want to pitch or whatever you got. Cody, do you want to go ahead and let the folks know?
Yeah, so we got Toxic Avenger finally coming out, the remake. So there's a chance, if I can get some time, I might watch the other ones and drop at least a ranking video for that release weekend. We got Conjuring coming up, so of course you'll get a review for that movie, but I'll also re-rank all the Conjuring movies, maybe do something with that, maybe re-rank, or maybe rank like the monsters of the Conjuring universe or something. And then we have Fantastic Fest coming up in just under a month, so we should get a lot of exciting releases, a lot of early reviews and reactions and stuff for things like Black Phone 2, Shelby Oaks, Sisu 2 was announced there. There's always a bunch of secret screenings, so it could be something really wild too. That should be fun.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. A lot of good stuff there to check out over on Cody Leach's channel. I would imagine most folks, you know, get with it if you're not with it already. He's got what are you at right now? You passed 200,000 subscribers just a couple weeks ago, so congratulations. That's fucking awesome and so well earned. Whenever you come up here on the channel in conversation or anything like that, I've always got nothing but great things to say about you, Cody, because I think there is something. I'm just going to take a second here just to blah blah blah, and then Mark will ask you you know, what you've got going on. But there's something where I don't know what's going on, Cody, because it seems like people, do you think people think that maybe because you're you know, perhaps a little like brash with your opinions and you're very well articulated, do you think people are like, oh, this guy, some kind of asshole that thinks he's just the coolest dude ever? Like, what is with these people that that talk shit?
I mean, like, you do have people that just don't like anybody who's successful. I don't know what percentage that is. I do think people are intimidated by confidence, and they'll misinterpret confidence for arrogance. So I think that is going against me. I think there's a lot of people out there that just can't tolerate other opinions of film. So God forbid I say something they don't agree with. It's a reflection on my character. So there's that. I mean, beyond that, I don't know. I'm sure I've said some things that probably came across wrong or whatever, but you know, we all make mistakes when you're online and it's all fucking documented. It's like, you know,
my God,
it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I always say, like, there's people that hate me online. There's nobody that hates me that's actually met me that I know of.
Yeah, and I think, you know, getting to be able to meet you in person before you were on the show, probably like right around a year ago. It was like right around same kind of time, I think, last year. I was, you know, I love the channel and everything. I was really blown away just at how personable and sweet you were in person. So that was something that like really came across in person. So yeah, so I'm so pumped for your success. I know you bust your ass doing what you do, and that it took a long time to get there. So it couldn't have happened to a better guy. So pumped for you and looking forward to that cooking channel once Mother Nature wants to play nice with you guys down in Georgia there. And Mark, what do you got coming up here on your channel in the near future, bud?
Yeah, so hope, you know, assuming everything goes well with copyright, I do have a video essay on Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming out hopefully within the next 3 to 4 days, I would say, conservatively. And then outside of that, you know, I'm gearing up here. The summertime's over. I have a lot more free time. Going to be doing hopefully some video game live streams. Excited for Silent Hill F coming out late September. I don't remember exactly when. So at any rate, I will be playing that. Whether or not you guys get to watch me play it or not, it remains to be seen. But yeah, that's about it, man. Just overall, just looking forward to just ramping things up here and just getting to be able to do things more consistently. So. And yeah, Cody, thanks so much for being generous with your time with us and hanging out, man. It's been awesome. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, guys, again, links are in the description below for Cody and for Mark. I even put a couple social links in there as well. As far as what's going on here at the Davey Deathray channel, if you hang out here, you probably hear me talk about this stuff all the time, but for all the new folks, I'll just say a couple things here. I'm working on, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes I do a daytime version of my late night show, so the folks out in the UK can catch it in their evening. But I do late night with the Davey, so that's Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. We bring on a guest most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, and we have a topical discussion, or we talk about, either they're a content creator here on YouTube, maybe they're a director or a writer or an actor, and we just like talk about what they do, and we get nerdy about horror and all that kind of fun stuff. And then other things I've got going here, I'm working on a pre-recorded series. Last year I did a live series called How to Make It Better, covering the David Gordon Green Halloween films. Now I've taken those ideas, looked at them again, reviewed them, and fine-tuned them. I'm going to be putting together a pre-recorded version of that series. And the idea is that they're movies that I enjoy, but that I think could have been a little bit better. So I'd like to see that series move forward. And oh shoot, one other thing, there's a link in the description below. I've been nominated as best live streamer for the Sacred Crypt Awards 2025. So if you have a Google account and you like what I do here on the channel and you want to throw a vote my way, that would be awesome. That would be something I would celebrate with the entire community. And God, if I get to 2,000 subscribers before Halloween, I'm going to dress as the alpha from 28 years later and do a live stream on Halloween. So that's, I don't know. I said that thinking it would never happen, and then I'm going to see if you guys can prove me wrong. We'll find out what goes on there. But yeah, this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. Of course, Cody, really appreciate your time. You're making your chili. You had to step away from it for us. I really appreciate that, especially because I've seen the pictures of the food you make, and your family's very, very fortunate all around, but the cooking is just a cherry on top.
Spoiled bastards.
I know. What the hell, dude? God, and you build stuff in the backyard. Like, did your wife even know how good she has it?
I hope so. I mean, I think she
seems very appreciative.
She plays it pretty coy at home, but whenever she leaves the house, that's when I get all my flowers.
There you go. I see some of the... I even see her tag you something on socials or whatever, because I don't think we're friends on there, but I see you pop up, and I'm like, man, it's great to see somebody be appreciated. Appreciate your wives, appreciate your husbands, be nice to each other. Come on, people. And thank you again, Mark. Really, thankful to have you as a cohort here every time we do these versus battles. We'll get something cooking sometime soon. I think we're talking to Chris Stanley and Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel, and maybe doing a quad box here of versus battles. So that should be pretty fun. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody who dropped a super chat or a membership. We got Erica signed up for a membership. Jonathan Shreve dropped a super chat, $1.99. Erica dropped a $5. Amanda dropped a $1.99. Jordan Decker is celebrating 9 months of channel membership and also dropped a $1.99. You guys are absolutely amazing. Big thank you to the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members, and of course our awesome group of Death Squad mods. Guys, if you're hanging out on the stream, make sure to like it. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to these guys' channels, please, if you haven't already. And yeah, am I missing anything? It's just diarrhea of the mouth. Blah, 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 blah.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. Right over here, we got Cody Leach. And on the other side, we've got Mark from Tales from the Shelf. Okay. No, cut that. Edit. No. This has been an awesome time. Thank you all so very much. We'll be back with another versus battle here sometime in the future. And you know how it goes here. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.